Hello everybody. So today we have a Hydronic 30 kilowatts burner head sent by a customer saying that the unit is not working. I don't have any other details, but taking a first look, the unit is brand new, so I don't know what could what problems could be with this one, but I believe that the unit is fine, I think, and the problem is somewhere on the car, or maybe it's just a simple problem that the unit got locked. Probably it ran without fuel, and after a few attempts the control unit will lock the heater and it will not start anymore. But the customer also has a diagnostic unit, so I don't know why they did not solve this. Also, they sent the burner head without the cap again, and I specified to send me the plastic case also, so I can do a proper CO2 setting, but yeah, they didn't listen. So I will be mounting this on the test bench right here, and I will be trying to start it and see what problems appear. I do not expect anything special because it's brand new. I don't think this unit was even started or worked, or I don't know. As we can see, the manufacturing date is the 20th week of the 11th week of 2020, so it's pretty new. Okay, so let's mount it and see what happens. Just before that, I will talk a little about how this unit works and what's actually happening while this unit is working. So right here on the bottom we have two connections to the fuel. One is intake and one is the return line to the tank. These are marked right here, as you can see, with little arrows, and this is going in, and this is coming out from the burner head. Right after the intake we have a fuel pump. Yeah, this is the fuel pump, and through a little plastic clutch the fuel pump is turned by the fan. So the same motor that is turning the fan is also turning the fuel pump. This makes some pressure in the fuel pump, and right here we have a pressure regulator for the fuel, and at this point, when the fan is turning, all the fuel is going back on the return line, but also it's building up pressure right here. This is a preheating element, and this when the temperature of the coolant is below, I'm not sure what temperature right now, but the idea is when the coolant is cold, this little heating element in this plastic case gets turned on and preheats the fuel before coming out the injection nozzle. So when the unit is turning on, we have right here a little solenoid valve, and this opens the fuel. So then the part of the fuel with, I think, 10 bars of pressure comes through the nozzle and gets sprayed, and the rest of the fuel, which is not coming out here, it's going back on on the return line to the fuel tank. Also at this time, when the unit is starting, before opening the valve, we can hear some sparks, and this is a spark plug generator. This creates a high voltage, and through these two electrodes a spark is created right here, and also gets grounded here on the injection nozzle, and by this spark the fuel is lighted, and it's going inside. I will show you this flame tube. So this is the flame tube, and you can imagine a big flame is going right through the middle, and it's starting to heat up the liquid which is circulated inside this jacket. So this is where the liquid comes in by water pump and gets circulated, gets heated up, and goes out on this other connection here. Inside, I will show you also the inside of the heat exchanger. I will get this flame tube out. This is for a 35 kilowatt heater. And okay, let me just, yeah. So this is what a heat exchanger looks like inside, and through all these little fins the heat gets transferred to the cooling liquid which is inside this jacket here. Okay, and this is the exhaust. This is where the exhaust gases go out. Now you would say that it looks dirty, and you can see it smoked a few times, but this is because all the heaters that come here usually need a CO2 setting also, and until we do that, the heaters do not burn the fuel perfectly, and this is why we get these build-ups. But I'm pretty sure that if I left the heater working for a few hours, all these deposits from here will burn out. Okay, so we will mount the burner here, and we will supply it with voltage and fuel, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I mounted it on the test bench. I connected the wire harness right here. It has a plug, and also I connected the fuel lines, and we should be able to try and start it right after we put the cap. But I just wanted to show you where the two sensors connect. These two sensors connect right here, and the black one is for controlling the temperature, and the red one is for overheating. So it's a pretty simple unit. The temperature of the water gets controlled by this one. So when this reaches about 78 degrees, the unit will shut down, or if this will detect overheating, I think 120 degrees, then the unit will stop. And also the unit will stop when the difference between the two sensors is too big. This will also cause an overheating error, and the unit will stop. Okay, so I also connected it to the batteries, and also a diagnostic unit connected to the PC, and we will read out the errors. But first I will put the cap on the unit. in case it starts, then it can start without problems. Okay, so I mounted the cap and I will try to start the unit now and see what happens. Okay, we can hear the water pump, also the fan. Yeah, can hear the spark. Yeah, and the unit is starting. So, well, who could say? But the unit, it's working. We will leave it for a little bit. I will also check the diagnostics to see if it has any errors. Maybe it has a sensor error or something. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so here in the diagnostics we will select the heater. I don't know exactly, I mean I know which heater it is, but we will use the automatic detection. We can see that on the diagnostics the red LED is lighted up and also is trying to communicate with the heater, so it should be fine. Okay, let's see. It takes a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it, but the heater is running. It's working. Okay, so we found the heater and we will check for errors to see. Okay, so we have only one error, 52 no start, safety time exceeded, the unit was not even locked, so I don't know, but the problem is not here. We will delete this error because it doesn't matter, the unit should start with or without that error. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. We can also go to functional check to see what's inside, how the unit is working, but it's not really too much. We can only see the two water temperatures and the operating time. So actually the unit worked for about 2 hours and it was switched on for 5 hours. Yeah, I know. Okay, right now we have 23 volts, but this is because I'm running it only off the batteries, and I didn't charge the batteries for about a week now because I was not here. Okay, so there's not really much. We can leave the unit to work for a while and it's pretty much it. So yeah, the problem is somewhere on the vehicle in this case. Okay, so the second one we've got, it's not looking so good. I mean, this is an older heater, but anyway, the problem with this originally started with a broken heat exchanger, and this heat exchanger was leaking coolant inside, and I think just a very small quantity, because from the way it looks the guys didn't notice this in time and used the heater as it is. And the problem is, I believe that there is a lot of coolant everywhere inside this heater, or at least in some points of the heater, and the workshop thinks that this coolant has gotten inside the electronics and damaged them. Okay, so I will also mount this on the bench and see. Yeah, you can see a lot of coolant here, coolant marks. It will not. Okay, you can see them on the fan, and also here this was full. I just cleaned it a little bit. Okay, so I will put it on the test bench and see if it even tries to do anything. Before that, one thing I saw which was interesting, where it is, yes, here you can see this is the flame sensor, and the unit is seeing the flame through this hole, and this is dirty. So before everything I will clean this sensor a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit of clean paper just for now. If it works I will clean it properly, of course. Okay, so you can see the difference. Where is it? Yeah, so the unit should see the flame through this little hole I managed to clean right now. Okay, so let's put it on the test bench. Okay, just like this. I will not connect the fuel lines before seeing if this unit wants to work or not. I only connected the sensors and the harness, and we will try to start it. So I did here a relay, click. Yeah, the fuel pump is working. But that's pretty much about it. The fan is not starting. No, it is connected but it's not starting. The spark plug, the spark generator is not starting. Okay, so we will try to take a look with diagnostics. It's the same unit as the one before. Okay, so let's see. It should read the errors without problems. If that's the case, yeah, and the problem is no faults. Okay, now we have, yeah, but the control box is locked. Okay, let's delete. We can see it's locked, probably started a lots of times, and the problem I think is what that dirty sensor. Okay, and the unit is trying to start. Okay, I will just stop it for now and connect the fuel lines to see what happens. Okay, off. Yeah, now it will do a cycle of 3 minutes of just ventilating, but I will not wait. I will just disconnect the plug. It doesn't matter now because the heater did not start. So okay, so I will put the two fuel lines, connect the fuel and see if it starts. If everything works, then I will just clean this a little bit up, also the flame sensor, and who knows, maybe it works. Okay, so I mounted the cap. As we can see, the CO2 setting was never changed from factory, so nobody tested or modified this since then. Okay, so we will try to start. Okay, we can hit the relay. The pump is starting. The fan is starting. We have the fuel lines connected. Okay, but no, the fuel is not coming out. Okay, maybe it's not primed. Who knows? We will take a look here in the fuel tank. Okay, and the fuel is coming back now. So let's try to restart it. In this case, we know there is fuel, so I just pulled the battery. Okay, and we will try to start it again. So we know there is fuel. The pump is working. Yeah, but I think I cannot hear the... Okay, let me just stop it one more time. And I think I cannot hear the spark generator. Okay, let me just put this back in again. Okay. So it's, yeah, the fan. We can hear the solenoid valve, but we do not hear the sparks. Okay, so there's definitely some problem there at the spark generator. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so this is the spark plug generator, and this is where it connects to, and here I cannot see any dirt or any problem with the connections. So maybe coolant got somehow into this coil, and maybe it failed. So there's the only way I can test this is to replace the coil with a new one and see what happens. And this is pretty straightforward. You can see it in my first video of the Hydronic 30 kilowatt heater, and you just simply, there are two screws, and that's pretty much it. You have to take down this baffle plate and the electrodes, and it's nothing really hard. If you want to see it, you can see it in my first video. So after taking this down from the unit, I can see some oxidation marks here, probably from the water, also here on the electrodes. So I will try to clean them and see if maybe that's the only problem with this. I cannot see anything wrong from the outside. Usually when they fail, you can see a spot where it overheated or something like that, but this one looks pretty good. Okay, so I will just clean it first and see what happens. Okay, so I cleaned them as much as I could, and I think if this was the problem, then it should work now. If not, then it's probably the coil itself. Okay, so I will put them back and see. Okay, so we mounted the parts back, and I will try to start the unit again. Just put back the, and I think it's still on. Yeah, okay, so we can see the fan. No, still not working. Okay, so then we should change them, but from where? I don't know. We have some smoke, so could be that the unit tried to start. Well, let me just put the cap on also to see what happens then. No, actually it's only fuel that got in touch with the warm heat exchanger. It's still warm from the first unit we tried to start, and this is why we saw some, it was not smoke, it was only vapors, and we can see that fuel is coming out from the exhaust. So I will change the coil to see if something changes. Okay, so I've changed the coil with a new one, and I will try to start it. If the unit will start, it will be quite some smoke because of the fuel that is still in the heat exchanger. So let's see. No spark. No sparks, no sparks. So I think the ECU is defective in this case. Yeah, and also the fuel is too much. Okay, let's stop it. Let's stop this because it makes no sense trying no more. Okay. We will stop it. The problem is I cannot hear the spark, and this is the main concern. But also the fuel is dripping. Yeah, this is not okay. Okay, so I will open it up again and see what should we change. I will try to show you guys what's happening. It's really strange, and I think this is where the smoke is coming from. So there is some kind of short on the electrodes. Okay, so I just connect. And this is the point where the unit should spark. See? Yeah. So it's sparking before. This is quite I don't know. Okay, so I will also change the electrodes to see. Maybe this is the only problem and it's not the coil itself. Okay, so I will change the electrodes. So as we saw on the video, the spark was generating somewhere here between the electrodes, not here as it should. Well, this is the new one, and I can kind of see some kind of melting between them. I don't know if it's visible to you, but if we compare both, you can see some melting on the plastic. So is it possible that these electrodes are in short? Well, I never ever found something like that, and I never even heard of it. So this should be a first. Okay, so I will put this on and try it, and I'm pretty much sure that this is okay and there's no problem with it, and this is the real issue here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so another try. Let me just plug this. Let's see if we can hear the sparks now. Yeah. Yeah, I knew this will happen. Okay, now it's starting, so before anything I will also change the fuel nozzle, because it's clearly putting out too much fuel, and this is not okay. But at least it's starting, and I will also put back the old coil because I'm pretty sure that the coil is fine. Okay guys, so I took the unit down and I have to clean it a little bit. Also I will put back the old coil, since this is I believe it's fine, and the problem is this electrode. Okay, now I see some parts falling out. Let me just try to put the camera so you can see this. I hope this is okay. No, a little bit. I will raise it a little bit. Oh, this is it. No. Okay, a little bit more from here. Okay, I hope you can see better now. So, as we saw yesterday, the problem was here in this electrode. This is where it somehow got short circuited right inside this plastic. I don't know, I never found that until now. So I will also change the fuel nozzle, because this should be changed every year regardless. Let's see, just trying not to break it. Okay, yes, this is out now. We will take down this baffle plate. This is held by only this clip. I will be cleaning all these parts because they are quite dirty. Also here I will take this down and put it back on the shelf because it has no problem. Well, I hope the one that it came with, it has no problem. This is it. Okay, stop. Yes. We need to take down the coil. This should be easy. And I want also to open up the electronics to see if any liquid is inside. Okay, so this we will not use this time. These are the connectors for the preheater and also the solenoid valve on the back of the ECU. So we will unplug it, unplug those. I can see some kind of liquid, but it's not really that bad. I believe it's mostly fuel. Okay, we will leave the nozzle at the end because I will be scrubbing and cleaning here, and it's better to leave that at the end. This is too big. There is a filter here that we will check also. Probably there's nothing in it, but since it's here, it's worth checking. Okay, well, actually there is some dirt, so we will clean that also. Okay, I will take down the here we can see some oxidation. This is not good. And also on the pins. Okay, so you need to hold the shaft here and then open it. It's an inverted thread, so it's not normally to the right. To the right you unscrew it, and to the left you tighten it. Okay, this is where the blower is connected. We will disconnect this also, and I will take out the ECU You should normally have some plastic clamps here. Okay, and one here, and it's out. Like that. If we would to take down the fan motor, there is a plastic little piece here that connects the other end of the shaft to the fuel pump, but I will not take down this time because everything is okay there. I will try to put it in a way so fuel doesn't come out here on this table. Yeah, it's a pretty messy job. So I saw some oxidation here. I will just take the relay out. Oh, this is not good. Well, let's see. Also, this one is fine. And also there are some oxidation marks here on the connector. But since the unit is working, we will try to clean them a little bit. And also this flame sensor. There's a lot of oxidation marks here. It's not the picture I wanted to see. Okay, so I will open these screws. Hopefully. This is too big. Let's see. Okay, this should be it. This is out. This is out. And so on. I'm curious how much liquid is inside this board. Because it's working, but if I would just return it like this, could be that in a very short time there are problems again. Okay, let's try not to break. There is some kind of liquid inside here, yeah. I can't really tell if it's fuel or antifreeze. We will see. Now, taking out the other side, it's quite tricky because all these pins, all these connections have to go through this plastic. Let's hope we can do it. Okay, so maybe this, I see it has a thread, so I don't think this is holding the, I think it's holding this radiator here, so I will just screw it back. This is also a different thread. Is it holding the same thing? Could be. Okay, so what now? Should it just come up? There is a little circuit here that it started to oxidize, but it's only the lacquer, the protection on it. So I think we can repair that. But how can we take this out? I did this once. Okay, so it seems it's just like I remembered. You just have to push the board with all these pins out together. So by pushing this board, these pins, I'm also pushing the board. Okay, so it's out. Actually, there is some liquid inside it. I think it's a good thing that I opened this up. And right here on this relay connection, this is fine. It's only right here on the relay. I will change this because I have a lot of this remaining from other ECUs that are defective, so that's not a problem. Beside that, here we can see some liquid. I will just try to very softly wipe this so you can see. I don't know what actually happened here. It's a little bit melted, but overall it looks okay. This is also an internal relay. Okay, this is fine. This little radiator, it has some kind of MOSFET here that is cooled down. Yeah, and these two screws are holding this radiator. Okay, so I will just make sure that these are tightened. Okay, so I will use a little bit of electrical contact cleaner, a little bit of compressed air, and should be fine. The good thing is that it's working, and it's a very good. We are very fortunate that the coolant did not affect the inside of this. I'm just checking and making sure that this track is okay. Yeah, it's fine. I will cover it with something, maybe a little bit of paint, so that will be fine for now. Yeah, okay, so I will go clean this up, and also, so I don't forget, I will take this little, it's actually a glass part, and this is how the ECU is reading the flame with this photodiode. This is right in front of it, so this needs to be clear also. As you can see, it's quite dirty, but the unit still detected the flame. Yeah, and you can see it's quite a difference. Let me just put it somewhere. Okay, I will put it here, just not to lose it. Okay, so I will go clean everything up. This is not something that you have to see. And then I will be putting everything back together, also putting back the old coil, because I think it's fine, and it had some oxidations here, but I cleaned them and it should work. I will be putting a little bit of electrical contact grease to protect the contacts, and this is what I'm using. I will show you, it's a transparent kind of grease just for silicone paste. Yeah, okay. And this is what is used on electrical contacts, where you connect two plugs together to protect against moisture, and it doesn't conduct electricity, so it's this is a pretty good thing. Okay, I will go clean this up and we'll go from there. Okay, so we are back. I managed to clean the parts, even if it doesn't look like it, but yeah, they were really dirty. The main thing is that we managed to do is get the antifreeze out of the ECU box, and it's a great thing about this antifreeze is that once it's mixed with water and you get it on the floor or somewhere else, it will not dry out for, I don't know, maybe for weeks, months, or who knows. It's just, I hate that. So every time you have a leak of antifreeze, you will have to wipe it from everywhere because it just doesn't dry out. And even I blew this with compressed air, and there are still some very tiny bits of antifreeze, but yeah, you can see, but this should be fine compared to what it was. So I'm really glad that we opened this up, because if not, who knows in time where those little water droplets would go, and maybe it would cause a short or just oxidation through time. I also cleaned the board a little bit. I will put it back as it is. It's still a little bit greasy in some areas, but I prefer to leave it like that and not use a really strong degreasant, because I'm afraid it will attack some of the parts and it's just not worth it. So we will leave it like this. I also put a little bit of gasket silicone here on this track that was exposed to the elements, to air and water and moisture and so on. So now the tricky part is to align everything and push this back okay, it is going. Yes, I like that. I knew this would happen, and actually this is, now that it's clean, I can see some rust here, and also I believe this is where the ECU sat in a little bit in a pool of water. I believe this is where all the antifreeze from the, sorry for that, from the broken heat exchanger, this is where it all accumulated. Okay, so let's try to put this into its place, and yeah, and this was it. So actually it was pretty easy, and the time spent on this was well worth it. At least now I am I know that there is nothing inside the ECU that should cause us problems later. Okay, the little glass let's say side glass, yeah, could be a side glass. Okay, and this comes right on the photodiode there, and this is how the unit will detect flame. Had a lot of ECUs with problems detecting the flame, and there's not really much we do about it. We just change the ECU because we do not repair this kind of faults. Okay, so I will just put, and actually this is, I don't know, it doesn't want to hold anymore. All the threads are gone, or maybe this was already opened by someone. Could be. Well, I don't really like how these screws are sitting, but there's nothing really I can do about this. This one is fine. This one, it doesn't hold nothing. Well, this is not good. Should I change this case? I have some defective ECUs. I think I will do that. Let me see. Okay, so again, I'm taking this down. I will push the board out again, because why not? That's not how I wanted it to go. Okay, so it's still there. Yeah, and we can see all these are gone. So definitely somebody opened this. Okay, let me see if I can find the case. Okay, so we have one here, and I know this is defective, so we will use the case from this. It looks much better. I don't know why I didn't notice those holes are not good. Well, anyway. This just happens. Okay, actually this looks a lot better, but it's not working, so looks aren't everything. Let me just check. Can you see? Yeah, you can see something. Okay. I will just try to push the board out. Okay, so it's out. Okay, everything looks absolutely fine on this, but it's not working, so okay, let's see. Yeah, these are also cracked, so I think this is something wrong with this design, that these plastic parts are getting cracked so easily. Okay, let's hope that it will be fine for us. I will take care not to tighten them a lot. Okay, so it's in, everything is in place, and I will use this one because I cleaned the glass already. Okay, let's see some screws. Yeah, we will put new screws. Okay, this looks better now. Okay, so just don't even try to tighten them, just get them close. Yeah, it's such a bad design. So clearly they are not made to be opened 10 times. Okay, this is it. I will not insist on them because it will have the same result as in this. This I will throw out because I will keep this for this little lens. Who knows, maybe someone will lose it, or you never know. Okay, this is in, so we will put the relays. I have replaced the relay that was oxidized. This is just fine. Yes, and we will put them back to this assembly here. First of all, where it is? Okay, here. So I will put the filter back in if I can find it. It should be here, or not. Ah, here it is. Okay, so I clean this also. Just have to screw it back in as far as it goes. Okay, and yeah, we can put the ECU now. Back to its place. Actually, now these clamps are fine. On the older plastic they were broken. You don't have to worry, it's the same part number, so there will be no confusions later on. Okay, so it's in. We will, before I connect anything, I will just put a little bit of this silicone Looks like I have holes in my hands today. Everything is just falling. I will just put a little bit of this grease here on the connector, and this will go on the contacts when I push it in, and pretty sure no water will, so I'm not doing something right. Okay, maybe it's like this. Okay, so it's in now. Yes, I will also apply a little bit here on this connector. This will somehow protect these contacts from now on. Okay, I think that should be enough. Oh no? Okay, here it is. And this is the main connector of the... This is the connector that goes to the outside. These are for the sensors. Just a little bit. I'm not too worried because these connectors are in a high place, so there's really a low probability for the heat exchanger to break again on this same unit, so I don't usually use this, only on smaller hydronics, because there we have some connectors with super seal gaskets, and still from time to time water gets in there, and all the connectors, all the pins just oxidize. And yeah, this, I don't know, I think it costed about 40-50 euros, and I have it for like 4 years, and there is still, I don't even know if it was filled to the top, but this will last you for years anyway, so it's worth buying if you are working in the automotive business. It's just something good to have. Okay, so we will connect back the solenoid valve and the fuel preheater, the nozzle preheater. Just, I don't know, I cannot get them right today. I don't know what's wrong with me. And now we will, which one? Oh yes, this is the old one. We will just screw it back in place. The old coil. I hope it works, because if it doesn't, I will have to take it down again. Okay, so first, yeah. That's fine. And we will connect this coil like this. Okay, so the next thing, it's the baffle plate. I also clean this. You have to take care to, this hole should be where the sensor is, not like this, because it will go in like this also. And then the control unit has problems seeing the flame. We will put this safety clip back to its place, and this is what's holding this plate. And before I put the electrodes, I will change the, actually I will first put this back on. Okay, so it's exactly opposite as you would expect, the thread. And I will just tighten it just a very little bit. It will not come down because it's rotating in the opposite direction, and if you try to tighten it, this little notch on the shaft will break, and then you will have some nice work ahead of you. Okay, so the reason why I left this at the end, because I was just turning the unit side to side, and it's good to take care of this nozzle as much as you can. And they even say this in the manual, that you should not touch it with your hands. I'm pretty sure nobody cares about that, and sometimes it's just impossible. I mean, not touch this part where the fuel gets sprayed. Okay, so yeah, a little bit of fuel was to be expected. Yeah, just clean, look a little bit inside, everything is fine. Actually, this seems a little bit used, so it needs changing anyway. Okay, this is the new one. I will just put this in. And it's a really good practice to do this yearly, to change this nozzle yearly. And of course, it depends on how much the heater is used. But the recommendation is 1,500 hours, or at least yearly, even if those hours are not met. Let me just see. Okay, so this is the new one. And this should go in. Okay, so I will go out and mount it on the bench and see what happens. Okay, so we have the unit back on the bench, and we will try to start it. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it will not blow up. Okay. Okay, so the pump, the fan. Let's hope the sparks. No, we don't have sparks. This is not good. It could be that the coil is also defective. Okay, I will just try to start it again. I didn't hear the sparks, and that is what I'm worried about. Okay, so I will start it again. Pump. No, nothing. No sparks. Just the valve opening. Okay, so I will stop this. Yeah, okay, so it seems that the coil is also defective. which is strange, but this is it. Okay, so I will change that also. Okay, so I've changed the coil, and let's hope that this is the last time we open this unit. Okay, on. Let's see. Okay, now we can hear the sparks. Yes. Okay, so it started. The unit will smoke now for a while because and who knows how long the unit was working like this. It's clear that we will have to make some CO2 adjustments. Okay, I will just open the door for now and leave the smoke to clear out a little bit. Okay, so it's pretty clear for me that the unit is working with too high CO2 settings, and for now I will open these two setting screws and I will reduce the CO2 level a little bit, just to give the unit the chance to clear out. Okay, I will just put it here in the middle, and after the unit gets to operating temperature, we will use a CO2 meter to set this exactly to what the specification should be. Okay, so we started the unit again. I brought here my gas analyzer, and this normally goes right here in the exhaust, right in the middle of it, and I will start the measurement as soon as the water temperature will be at about 70 degrees, and also then I will start the fans, so it will be pretty loud, and I don't think you can hear me. The idea is to get the CO2 percentage somewhere between 9 and 11%. This is what the manual recommends for this unit. Okay, so shortly the unit will reach the 70 degrees, and I will start adjusting the CO2 from these two screws. I will be filming it, but probably you will not hear me. So we have started the measurement, and also one of the fans just to keep the unit running, as the unit will stop if it reaches the operating temperature. Okay, and let's see. The cap is now in the middle position, and actually it's almost good. Seems to be fine. Yeah, it's just oscillating, and 10% is, I'm very satisfied with this number, because it's right in the middle of the recommendations. So I will wait for a little bit before doing anything. Yeah, we can see the water is at 70 degrees, and I will probably start the other fan. Yeah, so the CO setting, I'm satisfied with it. I will just tighten the screws to see if this changes anything. think it's fine. Maybe I can adjust it just a little bit. Okay, maybe just like that. We will just leave it to stabilize a little bit. A little bit back. Yeah, this is okay. So this is where I will leave it. It's about 10, so yeah, maybe just a little bit. No? No? Why not? I cannot do this. And we are almost back where we started. So this is why the unit has to be warm to do this. Maybe I didn't wait enough. Okay, so this is okay now. This is how we will leave it. Yeah, it's about 10, it's fine. Okay, so there you have it. The unit is working now, everything is repaired, so it was quite an interesting ride, but in the end everything is solved and the unit is working fine. We can see the difference in the CO2 setting. This is where it was when it came and this is now, so I'm pretty sure that all this blackness from here, from the heat exchanger, is because the unit was not burning the fuel correctly, and yeah, this just happened. Okay, so until next time, I hope everybody is fine, stay safe, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my videos. Bye bye.